Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this March the 26th, 2025, nightly daily discussion and XRP, the blockchain technology, the gold and silver bullion, and the altcoins, where you come to help me, and you're the most important part of this, to subscribe and follow and share and comment to help bring back truth, trust, education, and information back into the sphere, right? That's what we're all about. Spreading super simple and easy ways to learn this market and to get the information and education and uh, facts that you need to make level-headed and rational decisions for yourself and get a game plan going on, right? And here's my channel members. Members is Jabroni Killers. It's super cheap. I made it cheap as possible, the cheapest I believe out there for any kind of major channel to support the state, to help support them to grow and get the truth and our point of view out and the facts with the trustful information to make rational and sane decisions. I made it $3.99 a month. That if you get any kind of value out of this, or it helps you stay in touch with what's actually going on and what's important in the market, right? And then you get direct access to me, where if you ask me something in the comments, I will comment very quickly back to you and then talk about it in the nightly video. Appreciate everything you do for us, Jabroni Killers. What's your realistic bull run price target for XLM, XRP, Quant, and SHX? And I appreciate that. I believe this man was from Mexico. Uh, and I forgot what he said his name meant in Spanish, but he's a valuable asset to this organization, and I will get that uh, for you right now in this video. And then another guy that's been a long time OG member, he asked I think a week ago, about Tesla, and it just completely slipped my mind. So we're going to make sure we get that for you, my good man. And thank you to the rest of you guys, and join for $3.99 a month. So we're going to start off with Tesla, so I don't forget that, because we always do the coins, so I can't forget the coins. So if we look at Tesla, it's obviously been on a little bit of a retracement, and Tesla 2 or 3 times did a 5-to-1 split in their shares. So this price pre-split, you can add another zero to that because they've split it that many times, like Apple and the rest of them, where they've added more shares. If you owned 1 share, you now own 6 shares, right? But then the price goes down by that amount. And this thing's been on an epic bull run, and it's since Elon Musk took over as whatever he's doing in the Trump administration. Uh, he, he's been coming off. Uh, it actually started here in 2021. It had a big drop off in 21. You can see what happened here. And you got what Tesla, there's more and more, like China is a direct competitor. It did go down 75.69% in 2021 in Biden's second year, because the stock market was in a bear market briefly uh, when Biden first took over for about a year and a half. But there's more and more competition on Tesla. And Tesla's been, for more or less its whole history, has been sort of in this rising channel. A couple of times it's dipped out below it, and a couple of times it's tried to break out above it, but it always reverts back into it. And this is sort of the chart that I've been following with Tesla. And obviously, just like if we follow the crypto, we would go and use the same basic philosophy. If we unlock this, oops, not hide. Ah, shit. Well, we'll just make a new box where I was going to move it since it's hidden. I would go back and there would be a box right here, the old major resistance and support. And then you can see it's right on the mean of the whole history of Tesla. That red line that's sticking out in there is the mean on here, right? So I'd put that there, and I would make that orange as an alert zone, and then we'll lock that. So on a catastrophic breakdown, which I am not forecasting, so don't think I'm forecasting this, but a catastrophic breakdown of a steep bear market or just a quick tank job would be $19. And you would say, how would that ever go back to $19? Just remember they resplit this a bunch of times. So really that should be $190 right there, right? But that's a major area. Now the second major area that I would go to would be this after this most recent pump. And you can see the last pump was a COVID induced pump, right? You can see this is the COVID dump where you went down. Oops, we got our box on. This is the COVID dump where you went down 65.12% in the blink of an eye. And then they started pumping the money. And you can see this is where the COVID pump was right back here, just like the everything else pump, right? But right there, just after that little dump right there, there's the COVID pump. And oops, since about, no, not Smith& and Wesson, since about, I think it was August of 20, no, for Tesla, it was February of 21, you've pretty much traded sideways, right? Look at this. You pretty much traded sideways to down since then. If we zoom in on the full screen, besides this one rally right here, the Trump rally, it started before Trump actually uh, won the election and had the big crypto rally and a bunch of other things rally. This one started in May of last year, had a big run up to July, and then had a consolidation, and then traded sideways. And then you can see what Trump did right there. It blew off the top for a final 121%. But besides that, Trump push, this thing has been trading sideways for a couple of years. Now, the major area that I'm watching in this rising wedge is, and then I got to move on here, and then we're going to make sure we put this into the daily discussion. So we'll keep following this and getting more into it by the day, just like we do with the cryptos. Hold on, we need a price target. It's a rising channel. So right now it's on the downside of this, and the downside of this is at $323, right? The upside major resistance right now is clone, put it up there. Oh, it's our friend. And I still, guess what, add, do not want to buy you, right? J. But you can see what's happened now as we've been in here. Look at this. Pretty much the whole time. So when we started with here, we didn't know what it was yet in a big rising channel like this, but you can see it fell lower support. Then we had our first big pump, and you can see where it straddled upper resistance for about a year and a half, right? Then it got rejected and traded sideways, and it traded sideways for so long, it traded back to the uptrend, and the uptrend is this rising channel, right? And then it rode up it for a little while, then it broke below it. And when it broke below it, it traded along it down. And then when it finally came back up for its first retest, it blew off by it. But then you had the COVID dump and it got rejected. And then we had the massive pump, right? And that's where I think we're going to have to watch out for where we're at right now. Then you can see it roll along it again during the whole COVID last 2.5 years. Then it got rejected, came right down to the uptrend. All the buyers were stacked there, and now it's starting to trade sideways. So one of two things are going to happen with this over the next year. Either we're going to trade along and up this and get rejected and come all the way back down to retest this 2022 in December low of $110 and then try to get supported on it. Or we're going to have a full technical breakdown and it comes down not to $19, but it comes down to $62.33, right? That's scenario one, where there's multiple areas that you could go. You could come right to here, get supported, and then bounce back up. That's one option on the downside. And then I've really got this is going to be an extremely long video. No one's going to watch this. It's going to be too long. But it's just what we have to do to get the information. Or we could come down here if it breaks it and try to bounce, right? These are two things in the shorter term. I would say the next 1 to 3 months, I would be watching for the that's it's hard to see that. I'd be watching for the blue scenario to come down and hit this major support level right there, or coming down to $62 with a bounce. That's the downside, two scenarios. And the upside over the next 2 months, 1 to 3 months, is you going to trade up and along this major resistance level and then come back into it and do something like this, right? That would be the bullish option, to come over here and we'll make this a blue color. That would be the bullish option. You run along this rising channel and you try to break back into there and then try to hold some support in there and just trade up and along it, sort of like what happened over here when you were on the upside trying to break out of it. It got up and near it and just traded up with the uptrend for several months, actually over a year, from about August of 2020 all the way to about May of 2022. Sort of like what it's been doing here recently. It's been back on the lower support and it's just trading along it, right? So it could continue to do that for the next couple of months, or it's finally going to break down and we're going to hit some of these lower targets. We got to move along, but I will make sure I keep that in the daily update. And then for the cryptocurrencies, we had a XLM target in the bull run. Now the bull run, uh, what I'm trying to figure out right now is, are we going to go through another classic? We've done this about 3 times in 10 years, where you have a major pump like this, and then you have a long bear market consolidation, right? Are we going to have something like that again? I'm trying to figure that out. I knew we would come down to test lower targets like you always do in the bear market, like how XLM went down 90% over the course of May 2021 before you had your first real rally, to June of 2023, and went down 90%, where you have a long sustained time to accumulate, right? Are we going to do that again? Which, if we do that again, that would lead you out into this area 20 mid to late 2026 before you have your next major bull run in XLM? Or are we just going to have a quick retracement down and then a ferocious rally because the bull market's going to continue across crypto? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. But in the next bull run, whether it takes that long again, or this is just a short uh, 6 month correction and then we have a ferocious rally, still don't want to buy you. I believe the next leg of this bull run, uh, whenever it may be, our highest target would be $2.45 in XLM. Now, that's the least likely target out of the next bull run, because I believe what's more likely is what I've been saying for a very long time. I think we come up to, in the height of the next bull run. Remember, I'm still trying to figure out if we have to go through a 1.5 to 2 year bear market. My bull run target in this one was about $1.13. Not in this one, but when when the next leg of this bull market starts, I think it's about $113. That's what I've been targeting, about a dollar, but they always overshoot. $1 to $1.13, I believe, is a very fair and a very realistic target in the next leg of this bull market, after we come off of a consolidation, when we, just like we knew we were going to have this consolidation right now. I'm trying to figure out if we're going to have a long bear market. I think we're coming to 14 cents before, say, the $1.13 hits, but I'm trying to figure out, and we're going to all figure this out together, if this is something that we're going to have to deal with again across all of crypto, because that's what happened 3 to 4 other times in Bitcoin. And for altcoins that were along for that long, it's happened for them 3 or 4 times. So my realistic and what I'm shooting for in the next leg, when this uh, bear market trend ends and we go on our next bull market, I think we're going to $1 to $1.13 for XLM. XRP, it's the same thing. I'm trying to figure out right now is if we're going into, and look at, we've been around long enough. We've had a few cycles, big ferocious bull market, into December 17th after the first big bear bull market in Bitcoin, where it went to 20,000. Then from February of 18 all the way until about May of 2020, so about 2 years, a little over 2 years, we were in a long bear market. Then we had the massive bull market in which started in 2021. And look at that. Vincenzo diagnosed, sniffed out, and detected the bear market that was coming that culminated with the Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos on the epic Saturday Night Live flush, where old Vincenzo covered it live back then and warned everybody what was going to happen. And then told you there would be a long bear market, right? A multi-year bear market. And we had that for the second time. And then we had our most recent bull market. And again, it looks like we may be in a head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern. And we have to figure out if this is going to be a year and a half bear market where it's painful, people think it's over, and you have a long time to accumulate, say at the next level, instead of going down to 30 cents like it did in this bear market. Maybe it hit 20 cents at one point. I think the next base at the bear market bottom is going to be somewhere between 72 and 96 cents will be your bottom and your best accumulation. I could be way wrong, but that's what I believe. And I think in our next bull market, I think about the $4.69 is my realistic target where it's going to go. So from the old regional high, which may have been an all-time high, I'm not sure. That's another 37% up from where it hit that time. But from where I think it's coming from, I think it's going to come from, unless something crazy happens news wise, I think it's going to come from around the 96 cent level. So from that move, that would be another 10x bull market, right? And for anybody that's owns the coin at 30 cents, 20 cents, 80 cents, 60 cents, it's going to be a phenomenal next leg to the bull market. But that's my realistic target, what I'm shooting for. There's an outside shot it gets to 12, but I would put that at less than a 6.69% chance. And I would put the $4.68, 69-cent target in the next leg of this bull market after the bear market. I would say that's closer to a 76.6% chance or greater of happening, right? And then a few percent, the rest of the percent coming back to 340. But I think 469, still don't want to buy you. That's how you know the video's long when they've advertised 3 times. Yes, to make me buy that. But that's where I think this is going in the XRP. And then we had, what was another one? XRP, XLM, we've covered. Quant and SHX. Quant, the old Quant. Mother effing Quant. If we look at Quant, we got to zoom out. And I think Quant's got some more downside to go. But Quant, our next leg, I think, I don't think we're going to break a new all-time high in Quant in the next crypto bull market. What I think is more likely is we come retest the old all-time high. And that's why I have this arrow here, is I think about the $274 would be my realistic top end potential because the last uh, part of this bull market that started with the Trump, we got up to $174. But you can see since we came off the COVID pump when Quant came out, we were very bearish on Quant when it was way up there at $400. You can see it's just traded sideways to down. It's had two really big pumps. Like you can see one right there, lengthy consolidation and pain, and another one right there. That was the most recent Donald Trump one. I think we're coming down to $49 and this before we start the next leg to the bull market. But I would target the 174 to 274. But this one I'm not as sure because I don't know if Quant's going to be one that is long sustaining and rallies like these other coins do, right? But that would be my realistic trying to retest near the old all-time highs for Quant. And then SHX, I think that was the one we didn't have enough space on here. SH. That was this. Is that SHX? I think this is it. If this isn't it, let me know. But this doesn't look good at all. I don't know if there will see these. You got to know some of these coins won't have. See, here's the thing with these. Some of these coins never have another bull market and it's just over. And then other ones, like you've seen during this bull market, it looks like it's dead and it has a massive rally like this. And then it gives it all back. So that's what I would be looking at for. I don't know anything about this coin. If this is the one that you're actually looking at, either this one is just dead, or it'll have one of these from wherever, because it could even start from much lower point. It'll have a peak to where it gains about 75% of its old high back, and then it gives it all back. Like I drew out in the green arrow. But this, I do not know a lot about it. It's either dead or it's going to do what you can look on some of these other, a lot of these other ones that come out where they're straight down from wherever they start, they come about 70% back to its all-time high. So like, but it could even start from here. It could be way down here, right? And then it does that 75% retracement. And if you bought it down here, it comes up here, you made 200%. But I don't know anything about this coin. It doesn't look good technical wise, but I would target the old all-time high in this. But again, I don't know very much about this. I appreciate all the comments. Maybe I'll make one more video tonight, if not first thing in the morning tomorrow. Much love to all of you that are building our movement, building the truth and trust back into here. And our growing members of Jabroni Killers is overwhelming. Our road to 10,000 subscribers and 100 Jabroni Killer members start with you. Peace and love. The Rock Side Bro. J.